Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to yet another high-grade Gundam review, and today I'm taking a look at this right here, and once again, this is a mouthful. So this is the high-grade RX-0 Unicorn Gundam 03 Phenex Unicorn Mode Narrative version Gold Coating. And basically, it's just the Unicorn version of this right here, which we saw a couple of weeks back. Actually, maybe 9 months ago. Of course, if you haven't seen that video yet, there is a card up in the top right hand corner. You can click that to check it out. But anyway, onto this right here. And once again, of course, be possible without those absolutely awesome people over at Hobbylink Japan. So if you want one of your own, or for any of your Gunpla needs, check out that link in the description. Now here we go. So that right there is what you get from the Phenex Unicorn Mode Narrative version Gold Coating out of the box once you just snap it together. No extra effort, just cut out and snapped. So of course the first thing you will notice about this kit right here is that it is gold, and I mean very gold. Seriously, this thing right here is just gold and grey. So first off, there it is side by side with the one we would have taken a look at last time. This version of course is the destroy mode, so that means you can see all of that blue clear psycho frame in there. So that does mix it up a little bit, so it's not just gold on grey. As for this guy though, this thing is just solid gold. And oddly enough, I didn't think I'd like it, but I think it looks better than it mixed with the blue. In general, it just looks cleaner, less busy. I do prefer the destroy mode more on the standard white unicorn, because the white and red just look so good together, but here, I actually prefer this right here. This looks a bit on the busy side, a little bit not so pleasing. But I don't know, I think this is nicer in its gold simplicity. Anyway, by now you've probably noticed that the destroy mode here is missing its kawaii twin tails. And I'll get into that a little bit later. Once again, the same old complaints apply to this kit that apply to the other one. That is this right here, the 2009 high-grade Unicorn, was not designed to be gold coated. So that does mean none of the nubs on here are undergated. So if you check out this leg, I'll just pop it off. Actually, pop them both off, it seems. There are some absolutely unforgivable nub marks on this that are just black. Super obvious black. We can also see that there is seam lines right there as well, and you can't file these away because you will destroy that coating. Sure, you could maybe touch this up with a gold marker or something like that, but if a kit's not undergated like this, maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't coat it. In general, this isn't the worst. It's only in certain parts like there on the front of the thighs, right here on the forearm. We've also got some on the sides under the arm there, so there is quite a few of these, but technically, at a distance, when it's on your shelf, you'll never notice any of these. And speaking of on your shelf, this is what these guys will look like up there. Sure, they are small because they're high grades, they are quite simple, but this gold really does stand out. Unless you've got a shelf of just Phenexes and Yakushikis and all sorts of gold Gundams and other miscellaneous gold mobile suits, then this thing will seriously stand out. Kinda looks like the Gundam version of the Oscar trophy. And honestly, just like I mentioned in the last review of one of these guys, which was the destroy mode, this literally does look like a trophy. That's what it looks and feels like. That maybe this should have been a prize for something, not necessarily a full release kit. So you may love this gold, you may hate it. Either way, it definitely is unique. As for the stickers, it only comes with this one tiny sheet here. That's that one there that goes on the eye section. Looks just like that right there. That's what it looks like attached. And as well as that, we've got two of these ones for on the lenses of the weapons. Also, before I finish up with the aesthetics on this, you've probably noticed by now, and you'll definitely notice by the end of the review, but this thing is an absolute fingerprint magnet. And not only is it a fingerprint magnet, it's also a dust magnet. The one I've had up on my shelf for the last 8 or 9 months is literally coated with dust. So if you are a bit of a perfectionist, you might be inclined to polish this all the time. So this can be a little bit irksome, but at the same time, maybe you could just wear some gloves. So there is the high-grade Phenex Unicorn Mode Narrative version Gold Coating with absolutely everything that it comes with. So there is no beam magnum in here. This time we get the Hyper Bazooka, an extra magazine for the Hyper Bazooka, a pair of beam sabers, that shield, and lastly then for hands we've got that pair that we saw before, the standard holding pair, a trigger finger, right hand holding hand, as well as a pair of widespread dynamic hands. And it has been a minute since I've seen Gundam Narrative, but from what I remember, the Phenex did not use any of these whatsoever. I'm guessing they're all just leftovers from 2009 standard Unicorn Gundam. Anyway, first up we've got the Hyper Bazooka. This is your standard Hyper Bazooka we've seen rehashed for the past 10 years, so there's nothing really all that exciting about it. It's just all in grey. There is a foil seal for the lens. I didn't attach that though. And as for moving parts, all we have is this one little handle right here. To attach it to the Phenex, you just use that trigger finger holding hand. That slots in just like that. This part pops on over it like so, and then you just pop that back in like that. So anyway, that right there is what the Phenex looks like with that attached. Of course, we also have that extra magazine that attaches in around here on the back in one of these little segments, just like so. Whoop. As for the beam sabers, these are as basic as they come. The beam is in a nice shade of blue. We do have the issues with the nub marks on these as well. And when they are in use, they pop into the hands, as simple as that. And when not in use, just off with the handle. Open up this little segment right here. Whoa! I said open up this little segment right here. The saber then just attaches in like that and closes away just like so. We also have 2 around here on the backpack for a total of 4, but you only do get 2 beams. Last up then we've got the shield. This is simple enough, just one little segment that can rotate right here. That just clips on to the back of the arm, just like that right there. So once again, like the rest of the kit, this is quite basic. And speaking of accessories, I assume you can consider the 2 armed armor DEs with those twin tails as accessories, so that just attaches up here on the backpack ever so simply. So now moving on to the articulation, and you've probably noticed already that this is already missing one of its twin tails. And the reason for that is, and we're going to start with the armed armor when it comes to articulation. So off with that. First off, essentially all these can do is rotate on these spots right here. But there is some sort of articulation to these guys, but all that does is make them fall apart most of the time. So just like that, these do not hold together very well. On taking a closer look in there, it just kind of holds together with pressure more than anything else. And once that little bit starts to wear away, which is very quick because this is a coated kit, this is just going to constantly fall off, fall off, fall off. And usually from this one right here, it doesn't take much to knock it off at all. But anyway, onto the bot. So starting from the head down, this just has 1 ball joint. So that means, oh wait, it's got 2, but they don't do a lot. There's its giggity giggity. I'll do that in slow-mo so you can see. There's all the way up, all the way down, so not a whole lot. Side to side tilt and full rotation. At the shoulder, we got a little bit of forward and back. There is that arm all the way up. Full rotation right there. Shoulder armor is separate but doesn't move a whole lot. Full rotation there at the upper arm. As for the bend at the elbow, that is horrendous. Just 45 degrees. The wrist there is just your standard ball joint, so not a whole lot. That's all you get for an ab crunch there, so yeah. As for rotation, this can rotate all the way around. The front skirting armor can flip up. Side skirt can move up ever so slightly, as well as forward and back. Yep, forward and back. We've got a basic butt flap with absolutely no movement. In here we've got a pivoting hip section, so that does mean the legs can move forward and back like that. If one moves forward, the other one moves back on that pivot. Also, I shit you not, this thing has ball joint hips. Yeah. So that means no splits for this guy. There is that kick all the way up to the front, so not bad. All the way out to the back is blocked by that basic butt flap, and like I said, no splits. We have no, and I repeat, no rotation at the upper leg there. Damn. Next up there is that bend at the knee. Ooh, ouch. 45 degrees again. And as for the ankle, let's check out that functional movement by planting that foot on the ground. So here we go, there it is all the way to the front, so not too bad. There it is all the way to the back, so that is pretty bad. And as for side to side, yeah, that is it. So that's all you're going to get for dynamic poses. And as for aerial poses when that's pointing down, nope. The articulation on this guy right here absolutely sucks. So that right there is it for the review, and like with any version of the 2009 high-grade Unicorn Gundam, it is absolute rubbish. Full stop. There's no redeeming factors besides the looks on this thing. But if you're gonna go for a high-impact gold look Gundam, there's so many better ones out there. Sure, you could just get a bigger Phenex. At the end of the day, the only reason I would suggest buying this for is just to finish off the high-grade narrative line. If you really love that movie and you really love the kits from that, then that is the only reason I'd say go for it. It would make a novel idea as a trophy for a Gunpla building competition if you're running something like that, or as a prize just because it has that gold prize kind of look. But beyond that, this sucks to build, it sucks to pose, the accessories suck, and all in all, this right here, brown tier. I think in the last review 9 months ago about the other one, I rated it bronze tier, but I think that was being a little bit generous. There's no real redeeming factors whatsoever. If you want to buy some narrative Gundam high grades, then go for narrative. It's fantastic. Go for the silver bullet suppressor, that's awesome. There is definitely much better options than this. But anyway, if you do want one of your own, there is a link down there in the description. You can get yours at Hobbylink Japan. Just know there is a lot of other way better Gunpla on there that is way more worth your hard-earned pennies. But anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to come back for more Gunpla reviews, and I'll see you next time. And of course, I can't end this video right here without thanking all of you guys who have decided to support the channel on the channel memberships as well as Patreon. So thanks so much to all you guys, including my Gundarium tier patrons, Kaiser721, Samuel Sebastian, Vex, and Bulwick. If I made a mistake with any of your names there, let me know on Discord.